Hi, everybody. For science today, in our fourth lesson, I'd like to talk to you about ecosystems and biomes. Biome, from the last time that we had met, talked about a very large area. There's different parts of our country that have different kinds of biomes. You could have a desert biome, an Arctic biome, which probably don't have that in our country. It's probably beyond, maybe towards Alaska, I suppose, which is within our country, but more Canadian, maybe northern parts of Russia when you're talking Arctic. Ocean kind of biome. We definitely have coastal areas in our country. There's all sorts of different kinds of biomes. And then with the environment, you could have environments within a biome. So, and even within an environment, you can have habitats if you want to take it one step further. But within our Minnesota, the state of Minnesota, we have 4 different biomes that they have the folks would like you to know about. And so our first biome, if we were to compare the amount of rainfall, the average temperature, the types of vegetation and animals, we have a tall grass aspen parkland biome. So that means that the trees you might see are more aspen types of trees. Lots of tall grass. You might have heard of prairie a little bit, and so you get rain. You get over a foot of rain, not quite 2 feet of rain, and you have an average temperature that there's a bigger temperature swing there when you compare it to other types of biomes. Might be something that with a larger temperature swing, maybe this is a great type of northern Minnesota biome. A lot of grouse, sandhill cranes. I don't know if you've ever seen a sandhill crane migrate, but they're amazing. Check out a video on that if you want. Toads. If you've ever seen like what the toads and the frogs have to do to get themselves ready for winter, and then once they've gone through winter, how they get themselves back to, I guess you could say, almost alive. There's some crazy videos out there about showing a time lapse with frogs that are just kind of coming back to life. They have this antifreeze almost type of chemical in their blood that brings their heart rate down in the winter to like 1 beat a minute or something along those lines. They're literally almost frozen. Coniferous forest biome. This might be something that you would definitely see up north. You start talking about variation and swing of rain, temperatures that don't change. Maybe when it's cold, it's cold. When it's warm, it's warm. Not those high swing temperature kinds of days. And maybe as much as in other areas. You start talking about moose and wolves and different types of wood frogs. The growing season is shorter, 90 days. So essentially, you have a 3-month growing season. And probably right now at this time, they're at the very end of that growing season. Deciduous forest biome. Maybe probably a little bit more of where we are at. Could be a little bit of a mix. We have a pretty good growing amount of time. But, we've seen fox in Anoka. There are some oaks in our area, basswoods and sugar maples. Sugar maples are those beautiful trees that turn more red in the fall. When the chlorophyll leaves the leaves, when the chlorophyll goes back down through the leaves, through the stem, up the branches, down the trunk, into the ground. And the process happens where the leaf color that it really is supposed to be is left behind, and you get those reds. And I'm not a biologist by any means, but you can look it up yourself. And you start talking about prairie grasslands. You actually get a little drier out in the prairies. This is something that you might see more out west. If you've ever heard of towns like Wilmer, Worthington, Laverne, Pipestone, those types of places maybe have more prairie chickens or gophers, badgers, things that dig in the ground. All right, so I want to share with you my Minnesota map. And this map right here shows you some of the major cities in the state. You have Minneapolis, St. Paul right in here, and up towards Elk River. They don't have Anoka listed, but we're close to Elk River. Okay, so in our area, we see a lot of trees. We have a lot of those big hardwood trees. We have some grass, a lot of sand. Our soil is pretty sandy. We get a fair amount of rain. But when you start talking about forests and being in the northern part of the state and those prairies out in the western part of the state, let me show you this map. Uh-oh. If I do this, then you get to see Greta. Well, anyway, we'll keep that right here so Greta can see what we're doing here. But anyway, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's some higher elevation areas in the northeast part of the state. And if you know what this lake is right here, which is one of the Great Lakes, Lake Superior, if you've ever been up there, you know that it can be pretty hilly up there. There's also other hilly areas through the center of the state, and all within this you have lakes and you have big trees, big pine trees. Well, that's its own kind of biome. This whole area is its own biome. Okay? It's a coniferous biome. Within that biome, you have smaller environments. And within that, in those environments, you have habitats for certain animals, homes, places that, like a neighborhood within a city, okay? In a city within a state, if you think of biome, environment, and habitat, okay? You can see the green grass along the Minnesota River here as it heads south, but then at Mankato and New Ulm area, it heads north again, which is very rare for a river, but this just shows it's higher over here and it gets lower towards where we are. This is a very low area that we live in, okay? And then you have the St. Croix River, the Mississippi River, the Minnesota River, all coming together in a town called Hastings as the Mississippi River heads towards New Orleans. Well, anyway, we have 3 to 4 biomes in Minnesota. We have many, many, many environments, and then literally millions of habitats, okay, and homes for these little critters, from tree frogs to plastic dolls like Greta to, I'm just kidding. Greta has a habitat in our home. And then you have skunk, moose, gray wolf, timber wolf. You have fish, all sorts. You name it. There's all sorts of animals. We just don't have giraffes or elephants. We don't have tigers and lions. We do have bears. Oh my, yes we do. So this is just wanted to explain to you a little bit more about biomes, differences between biomes and environments, and the fact that there are many, many environments within a large biome. And then if we bring this back, again, we talked about a prairie grassland biome, which we said was out west, a deciduous forest biome, which is more in the central part of the state, a coniferous biome, which is by those mountainy areas of Minnesota, and a parkland biome. Oops, wrong picture. Oh, wrong picture again. That's funny. I think Greta just wanted to say hi to everybody. But anyway, and then we have parkland biome as well. So those coniferous trees up in here, those deciduous hardwoods more in the tan area here, the grasslands, okay, and maybe more of a tall grass, which could be more northern, along the Red River up here. I don't know if you've ever been up here, but it's very, very flat up here in the Minnesota-North Dakota border. So, all right, that's what I have to say. Thank you for watching.